Chapter 6. All You Need Is Love.
All you need
I
is
had planned to
love.
spend most of 1984
Love
working
is
on
all
some
you
movie ideas.
need. All right, let me go. Let me stop. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. I'm a little off some medicine right now, so I might not be all the way there. But let's go.
Chapter 6. All You Need Is Love. I had planned to spend most of 1984 working on some movie ideas I had, but those plans got sidetracked. First, in January, I was burned on the set of a Pepsi commercial I was shooting with my brothers.
Mm.
The reason for the fire was stupidity, pure and simple. We were shooting at night, and I was supposed to come down a staircase with magnesium flash bombs going off on either side of me and just behind me. It seemed so simple. I was to walk down the stairs, and these bombs would blow up behind me. We did several takes that were wonderfully timed. The lightning effects from the bombs were great. Only later did I find out that these bombs were only 2 feet away from either side of my head, which was a total disregard of the safety regulations. I was supposed to stand in the middle of a magnesium explosion, 2 feet on either side. Then Bob Giraldi, the director, came to me and said, Michael, you're going down too early. We want to see you up there, up on the stairs. When the lights come on, we want to reveal that you're there. So wait. So I waited. The bombs went off on either side of my head, and the sparks set my hair on fire. I was dancing down this ramp and turning around, spinning, not knowing I was on fire. Suddenly, I felt my hands reflexively going to my head in an attempt to smother the flames. I fell down and just tried to shake the flames out. Jermaine turned around and saw me on the ground just after the explosions had gone off, and he thought I had been shot by someone in the crowd because we were shooting in front of a big audience. That's what it looked like to him. Miko Brando, who works for me, was the first person to reach me. After that, it was chaos. It was crazy. No film could properly capture the drama of what went on that night. And the crowd was screaming. Someone shouted, Get some ice! There were frantic running sounds. People were yelling, Oh no! The emergency truck came up, and before they put me in, I saw the Pepsi executives huddled together in a corner looking terrified. I remember the medical people putting me on a cot, and the guys from Pepsi were so scared they couldn't even bring themselves to check on me. Meanwhile, I was kind of detached despite the terrible pain. I was watching all the drama unfold. Later, they told me I was in shock, but I remember enjoying the ride to the hospital because I never thought I'd ride in an ambulance with the sirens wailing. It was one of those things I had always wanted to do when I was growing up. When we got there, they told me there were news crews outside, so I asked for my glove. There's a famous shot of me waving from the stretcher with
Top,
my
top.
glove on.
Also, sorry. Top out. Michael, I love you to life, boy. But the fact is, like, oh, this news crew out there. Oh, where my glove at? Like, it's like, yo, Michael, I love you to death. You are insane, bro. You are insane. But nah, that's why it will always be F Don King, F Joe Jackson, F Pepsi on God for life, for life. Like we don't play that. Like everyone failed him. Everyone failed him. The production failed him. Fuck, like everyone failed him, bro. Like what? Like I can't. I watched that movie. I watched the Michael movie in a lot. I skip the Pepsi part every single time, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like what?
Later, one of the doctors told me that it was a miracle I was alive. One of the firemen
Mm.
had mentioned that in
You
most
think it wasn't no accident? What's your conspiracy? Flesh that out. What do you think the conspiracy theory is? What you think? What do you think that is? I've never heard one person say that. I don't think that was an accident. I'm intrigued.
cases, your clothes told me there were news crews outside, so I asked for my glove. There's a famous shot of me waving from the stretcher with my glove on. Later, one of the doctors told me that it was a miracle I was alive. One of the firemen had mentioned that in most cases your clothes catch on fire, in
Yeah.
which case your whole face can be disfigured or you can die. That's it. I had third-degree burns on the back of my head that almost went through to my skull, so I had a lot of problems with it, but I was very lucky. What we now know is that the incident created a lot of publicity for the commercial. They sold more Pepsi than ever before, and they came back to me later and offered me the biggest commercial endorsement fee in history.
Ho
It
ho
was so
ho 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 ho
unprecedented.
ho 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 ho. I think you just answered the question. I just answered my question. Wait, they sold more Pepsi after that? So let me get this right. You you almost you don't almost you injure the biggest selling artist of all time, and they sell more Pepsi after that? Huh? That'd be like, I'm trying to think. Like if that'd be like if Coke did that to Beyonce today. I don't think the Beehive is going to be it's going to be buying no Coca Cola if that happened, or I don't know. That's wild to me. Yeah, that is also something that I always thought about. I'm like, why would you work with Pepsi after that? Like to me, Pepsi, you dead in these streets. Like you turning your water off. Like you straight up turning your water off. Like you dead in these streets. Like we ain't doing that. So I'm actually shocked that he continued to work with Pepsi after that. Like we know Michael can be petty. So I'm kind of confused with that one. Like that's crazy. That might be the situation. It might have been a situation where they didn't try. Okay, this all allegedly, it might have been a situation to where they're like, we need to create a publicity stunt. Maybe do something. I don't think they was trying to kill him, but it might have been a situation where they were trying to create an incident with the biggest selling star, and it didn't go exactly how they wanted to. But it's still scary that if 1 second longer or one bad step, Michael could have really been out of here. Like that's really scary.
that it went into the Guinness Book of World Records. Pepsi and I worked together on another commercial called The Kid, and I gave them problems by limiting the shots of me because I felt the shots they were asking for didn't work well. Later, when the commercial was a success, they told me I had been right. I still remember how scared those Pepsi executives looked the night of the fire. They thought that my getting burned would leave a bad taste in the mouth of every kid in America who drank Pepsi. They knew I could have sued them, and I could have, but I was real nice about it. Real nice. They gave me $1,500,000, which I immediately donated to the Michael Jackson Burn Center. I wanted to do something because I was so moved by the other burn patients I met while I was in the hospital. Then there was the Victory Tour. I did 55 shows with my brothers over the course of 5 months.
That part in the movie when he was like, donate anything I'm getting from the settle from the lawsuit, send that all to the burn unit. Right? That almost broke me, bro. I'm like, bro, even at your lowest, like you're thinking about others, bro. Like what? Like, dog, man, Michael just man, that dude different, dog. You know, Pepsi though, they had to be panicking because again, Michael could have really set it off in there. Michael too nice for me. Let that been me, Mike. Let that been me. Oh, we said you want to set something to blaze? Okay, got you, heard you. We said we doing a deal with Coke. We doing a deal with I don't even know what was out. Coke, ginger ale. What any other brand? We doing all whoever your biggest competitor is. We doing deals with them. Let's see what happens then. And I'm telling all my friends not to do no deals with you. Let's see what happens. You're gonna make this Kendrick versus Drake. Like we're gonna make it hot for you in these streets.
I didn't want to go on the Victory Tour, and I fought against it. I felt the wisest thing for me would be not to do the tour, but my brothers wanted to do it, and I did it for them. So I told myself that since I was committed to doing this, I might as well put my soul into it. When it came down to the actual tour, I was outvoted on a number of issues, but you don't think when you're on stage, you just
Mm.
deliver. My goal for the Victory Tour was to give each performance everything I could. I hope people might.
Okay, I'm gonna try to stop pausing, but I do kind of. They felt he was getting too big for his britches. They tried to delete or burn him up. Same thing they tried to do during the slave times. You get out of order. They do some things to you in front of the yeah, in front of the people. Yeah. I believe we here right now. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna stop pausing so much. Let's go.
I did 55 shows with my brothers over the course of 5 months. I didn't want to go on the Victory Tour, and I fought against it. I felt the wisest thing for me would be not to do the tour, but my brothers wanted to do it, and I did it for them. So I told myself that since I was committed to doing this, I might as well put my soul into it. When it came down to the actual tour, I was outvoted on a number of issues, but you don't think when you're on stage, you just deliver. My goal for the Victory Tour was to give each performance everything I could. I hope people might come to see me who didn't even like me. I hope they might hear about the show and want to see what's going on. I wanted incredible word of mouth response to the show, so a wide range of people would come and see us. Word of mouth is the best publicity. Nothing beats it. If someone I trust comes to me and tells me something is great, I'm sold. I felt very powerful in those days of victory. I felt on top of the world. I felt determined. That tour was like, we're a mountain. We've come to share our music with you. We have something we want to tell you. At the beginning of the show, we rose out of the stage and came down these stairs. The opening was dramatic and bright and captured the whole feeling of the show. When the lights came on and they saw us, the roof would come off the place. It was a nice feeling playing with my brothers again. It gave us a chance to relive our days as the Jackson Five and the Jacksons. We were all together again. Jermaine had come back and we were riding a wave of popularity. It was the biggest tour any group had ever done in
Mm.
huge outdoor stadiums. But I was disappointed with the tour from the beginning. I had wanted to move the world like it had never been moved. I wanted to present something that would make people say, wow, that's wonderful. The response we got was wonderful and the fans were great, but I became unhappy with our show. I didn't have the time or the opportunity to perfect it the way I wanted to. I was disappointed in the staging of Billie Jean. I wanted it to be so much more than it was. I didn't like the lighting, and I never got my steps quite the way I wanted them. It killed me to have to accept these things and settle for doing it the way I did. There have been times right before a show when certain
And that's why he he didn't perfect it, but he I love how he evolved Billie Jean and in bad. Then when you get to dangerous, it finally he finally gets to do the I forget what you call it, but the light follows him the entire way. So like again, man, it would have been dope if he was able to do what he wanted to do during the victory tour. Again, it should have just been the thriller tour, but whatever. We gonna keep complaining, but I really I just wish you could have did just one show, just one show solo, and I'd be intrigued to see how different it would have looked, what different designs, stage designs, lighting. I think of what was the transition from it was beat like before they do beat it. I forget what song they do before beat it, but when they do that whole show with like the monster and everything, I feel like he was going more for that, and he didn't get he didn't really get to do that. And also, I do think the lighting. I think of do 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 this Heartbreak Hotel or this Heartbreak Hotel. Like the lighting is not good when he's doing the thing. So I think yeah, it could have been better. Victory Tour could have been better, but at the same time, we love it anyway. But he perfected Billie Jean during the Dangerous tour. Yeah, definitely matched. I still think his best Billie Jean performance was on the Dangerous tour, but also History tour. He was really good too. Um, yeah, that's still weird to me. Like, how many takes do you need for the commercial? Like, it's just weird. Like that whole situation was weird with the Pepsi commercial, bro. Like, but yeah, Mike, we wish you could have did Victory Tour a little bit different too, bro.
things were bothering me, business or personal problems, I would think, I don't know how to go through with this. I don't know how I'm going to get through the show. I can't perform like this. But once I get to the side of the stage, something happens. The rhythm starts and the lights hit me and the problems disappear. This has happened so many times. The thrill of performing just takes over. It's
Mm.
like God saying, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just wait. Wait till you hear this. Wait till you see this.
Mm-hmm.
And the backbeat gets in my backbone and it vibrates and it just takes me. Sometimes I almost lose control, and the musicians say, what is he doing? And they start following me. You change the whole schedule of a piece. You stop and you just take over from scratch and do a whole other thing. The song takes you in another direction. There was a part of the show on the Victory Tour where I was doing this scatting theme, and the audience was repeating what I said. I'd say da de da de, and they'd say da de da de. There have been times when I've done that and they would start stomping. And when the whole audience is doing that, it sounds like an earthquake. Oh, It's a great feeling to be able to do that with all those people, whole stadiums, and they're all doing the same thing you're doing. It's the
Hmm.
greatest feeling in the world. You look out in the audience and see toddlers and teens and grandparents and people in their 20s and 30s. Everybody is swaying, their hands are up, and they're all singing. You ask that the house lights come on and you see their faces and you say, hold hands. And they hold hands and you say, stand up or clap, and they do. They're enjoying themselves and they'll do whatever you tell them. They love it and it's so beautiful. All the races of people are together doing this. At times like that, I say, look around you, look at yourselves, look around you, look at
Look
what you have
around
done.
you.
Oh, it's so beautiful, very powerful. Those are great moments. The Victory Tour was my first chance to be exposed to the Michael Jackson fans since Thriller had come out 2 years earlier. There were some strange
It
reactions.
was
I'd
two
bump into
years.
people in hallways and they'd go, "No, that can't be him. He wouldn't be here." I was baffled and I'd ask myself, why wouldn't I? I'm on Earth somewhere. I've got to be somewhere at any given time. Why not here? Some fans imagine you to be almost an illusion, this thing that doesn't exist. When they see you, they feel it's a miracle or something. I've had fans ask me if I use the bathroom. I mean, it gets embarrassing. They just lose touch with the fact that you're like them because they get so excited. But I can understand it because I'd feel the same way if, for instance, I could have met Walt Disney or Charlie Chaplin. Kansas City opened the tour. It was Victory's first night. We were walking by the hotel pool in the evening, and Frank DeLeo lost his balance and fell in. People saw this and started to get excited. Some of us were kind of embarrassed, but I was laughing. He wasn't hurt, and he looked so surprised. We jumped over a low wall and found ourselves on the street without any security. People didn't seem to be able to believe that we were just walking around on the street like that. They gave us a wide berth. Later, when we returned to the hotel, Bill Bray, who has headed my security team since I was a child, just shook
Bill.
his head and laughed as we recounted our adventures. Bill is very careful and immensely professional in his job, but he doesn't worry about things after the fact. He travels with me everywhere, and occasionally he's my only companion on short trips. I can't imagine life without Bill. He's
Hmm.
warm and funny and absolutely in love with life. He's a great man. When the
R.P.
tour was in
Bill.
Washington, D.C., I was out on our hotel balcony with Frank, who has a great sense of humor and enjoys playing pranks himself. We were teasing one another, and I started pulling $100 bills from his pockets and throwing them to people who were walking down below. This almost caused a riot. He was trying to stop me, but we were both laughing. It reminded me of the pranks my brothers and I used to pull on tour. Frank sent our security people downstairs to try and find any undiscovered money in the bushes. In Jacksonville, the local police almost killed us in a traffic accident during the 4 block drive from the hotel to the stadium. Later, in another part of Florida, when the old tour boredom set in that I described earlier, I played a little trick on Frank. I asked him to come up to my suite, and when he came in, I offered him some watermelon, which was lying on a table across the room. Frank went over to pick up a piece and tripped over my boa constrictor, Muscles, who was on the road with me. Muscles is harmless, but Frank hates snakes and proceeded to scream and yell. I started chasing him around the room with the boa. Frank got the upper hand, however. He panicked, ran from the room, and grabbed the security guard's gun. He was going to shoot Muscles, but the guard calmed him down. Later, he said all he could think of was, I've got to get that snake. I've found that a lot of tough men are afraid of snakes. We were locked in hotels
Meanwhile,
all over America, just like
meanwhile, Michael has openly talked about how he's afraid of dogs. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, Michael. But yeah, going back to the Billie Jean, I think it's is it Copenhagen '92 or is it Copenhagen '97? It's the one I think you might know. It's the one where he's doing a moonwalk and he's like mimicking like he's doing like he's mimicking like he's doing his like his hair. Like I'm trying to remember which one it was. I did a video for like my favorite Billie Jean performance, but whatever performance that is my favorite Billie Jean performance. But also he was wilding in the history tour too though, so I could definitely see that. Being talking about I'm afraid, huh, huh, oh these mere mortals are afraid of snakes. Meanwhile he's afraid of dogs. Like what?
in the old days. Me and Jermaine or me and Randy would get up to our old tricks, taking buckets of water and pouring them off hotel balconies onto people eating in the atriums far below. We were up so high the water was just mist by the time it reached them. It was just like the old days, bored in the hotels, locked away from fans for our own protection, unable to go anywhere without massive security. But there were a lot of days that were fun too. We had a lot of time off on that tour and we got to take 5 little vacations to Disney World. Once, when we were staying in the hotel there, an amazing thing happened. I'll never forget it. I was on a balcony where we could see a big area. There were all these people. It was so crowded that people were bumping into each other. Someone in that crowd recognized me and started screaming my name. Thousands of people began chanting, Michael, Michael, and it was echoing all over the park. The
Wow.
chanting continued until finally it was so loud that if I hadn't acknowledged it, it would have been rude. As soon as I did, everybody started screaming. I said, oh, this is so beautiful. I've got it so good. All the work I'd put in on Thriller, my crying and believing in my dreams and working on those songs and falling asleep near the microphone stand because I was so tired, all of it was repaid by this display of affection. I've seen times where I'd walk into a theater to see a play and everybody would just start applauding just because they're glad that I happened to be there. At moments like that, I feel so honored and so happy. It makes all the work seem worthwhile. The Victory Tour was originally going to be called The Final Curtain because we all realized it was going to be the last tour we did together. But we decided not to put the emphasis on that. I enjoyed the tour. I knew it would be a long road. In the end, it was probably too long. The best part of it for me was seeing the children in the audience. Every night there would be a number of them who had gotten all dressed up. They were so excited. I was truly inspired by the kids on that tour, kids of all ethnic groups and ages. It's been my dream since I was a child to somehow unite people of the world through love and music. I still get goosebumps when I hear the Beatles sing All You Need Is Love. I've always wished that song could be an anthem for the world. I loved the shows we did in Miami and all the time we spent there. Colorado was great too. We got to spend some time relaxing up at the Caribou Ranch. And New York was really something, as it always is. Emmanuel Lewis came to the show, as did Yoko, Sean, Lennon, Brooke, a lot of good friends. Thinking back, the offstage moments stand out for me as much as the concerts themselves. I found I could lose myself in some of those shows. I remember swinging my jackets around and slinging them into the audience. The wardrobe people would get annoyed at me, and I'd say, honestly, I'm sorry, but I can't help it and I can't control myself. Something takes over, and I know I shouldn't do it, but you just can't control it. There's a spirit of joy and communion that gets inside you, and you want to just let it all out. We were on the Victory Tour when we learned that my sister Janet had gotten married. Everybody was afraid to tell me because I am so close to Janet. I was shocked. I feel very protective of her. Quincy Jones's little daughter was the one to break the news to me. I've always enjoyed a wonderfully close relationship with all three of my beautiful sisters. Latoya is really a wonderful person. She's very easy to be around, but she can be funny too. You go in her room and you can't sit on the couch, you can't sit on the bed, you can't walk on the carpet. This is the truth. She will run you out of her room. She wants everything to be perfect in there. I say, you have to walk on the carpet sometimes, but she doesn't want prints on it. If you cough at the table, she covers her plate.
Said he doesn't. She doesn't want Prince on it. You say? Hmm? All right, let me chill. Let me chill. Let me chill. Let me chill.
If you sneeze, forget it. That's how she is. Mother says she used to be that way herself. Janet, on the other hand, was always a tomboy. She has been my best friend in the family for the longest time. That's why it killed me to see her go off and get married. We did everything together. We shared the same interests, the same sense of humor. When we were younger, we'd get up on free mornings and write out a whole schedule for the day. Usually it would read something like this: get up, feed the animals, have breakfast, watch some cartoons, go to the movies, go to a restaurant, go to another movie, go home and go swimming. That was our idea of a great day. In the evening, we'd look back at the list and think about all the fun we'd had. It was great being with Janet because we didn't have to worry that one of us wouldn't like something. We liked the same things. We'd sometimes read to each other. She was like my twin. Latoya and I are very different, on the other hand. She won't even feed the animals. The smell.
That's why I love the interviews. Go check it out. The interviews where Janet is speaking. How do I word this? Where Michael Jackson's doing interviews, but because of Michael's anxiety during that time, Janet is basically speaking for the interviewer so that Michael can feel comfortable giving answers. It's the dopest thing ever, bro. That's how close they were. And Janet, who was, I think, only like 13, 14, is so good. Like it's almost Like it's all inspiring. Like it's so dope, man. Like man, I wish they could have. Cause Janet talked about how they kind of grew apart after Thriller. I wish they could have stayed together, but you know that's life. People grow apart, family grow apart. You know, especially him becoming so famous. But it's dope to hear him at least talk great about Janet and the rest of the citizens. I want to hear about Reby too, bruh. Um, yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Other movie, Go Home and Go Swimming. That was our idea of a great day. In the evening, we'd look back at the list and think about all the fun we'd had. It was great being with Janet because we didn't have to worry that one of us wouldn't like something. We liked the same things. We'd sometimes read to each other. She was like my twin. Latoya and I are very different, on the other hand. She won't even feed the animals. The smell alone drives her away. And forget going to the movies. She doesn't understand what I see in Star Wars or Close Encounters or Jaws. Our tastes in films are miles apart. When Janet was around and I wasn't working on something, we'd be inseparable, but I knew we'd eventually develop separate interests and attachments. It was inevitable. Her marriage didn't last long, unfortunately, but now she's happy again. I do think that marriage can be a wonderful thing if it's right for the two people involved. I believe in love very much so. How can you not believe after you've experienced it? I believe in relationships. One day I know I'll find the right woman and get married myself. I often look forward to having children. In fact, it would be nice to have a big family since I come from such a large one myself. In my fantasy about having a large family, I imagine myself with 13 children. Right now, my work still takes up most of my time and most of my emotional life. And I work all the time. I love creating and coming up with new projects. As for the future, que sera, sera. Time will tell. It would be hard for me to be that dependent on somebody else, but I can imagine it if I try. There's so much I want to do and so much work to be done. I can't help but pick up on some of the criticism leveled at me at times. Journalists seem willing to say anything to sell a paper. They say I've had my eyes widen, that I want to look more white. More white? What kind of statement is that? I didn't invent plastic surgery. It's been around for a long time. A lot of very fine, very nice people have had plastic surgery. No one writes about their surgery and levies such criticism at them. It's not fair. Most of what they print is a fabrication. It's enough to make you want to ask, what happened to truth? Did it go out of style? In the end, the most important thing is to be true to yourself and those you love and work hard. I mean, work like there's no tomorrow. Train, strive. I mean, really train and cultivate your talent to the highest degree. Be the best at what you do. Get to know more about your field than anybody alive. Use the tools of your trade, and if it's books or a floor to dance on or a body of water to swim in, whatever it is, it's yours. That's what I've always tried to remember. I thought about it a lot on the Victory Tour. In the end, I felt I touched a lot of people on the Victory Tour.
Hmm.
Not exactly in the way I wanted to, but I felt that would happen later when I was off on my own, performing and making movies. I donated all my
Okay. Uh, Let me address this. What do you think of AI songs of Michael? Nothing with AI slap. Uh, that's difficult because I think if it's done in terms of I don't know, it's creativity. I think like I've heard songs where people are like churching up Michael Jackson songs. I feel like that's creativity. At the same time, I hate AI. At the same time, we're literally listening to something that is AI. So it really depends on the situation and what it's used for. Um, but I don't really like AI songs. Like I hate it. I really hate them. Um, at the same time, it just depends. But I really don't like AI because AI takes the human element out of things. So when you take the human element out of things, you lose the what's the word? You lose you just lose the human element of it, which that's so I don't. It's kind of hit or miss for me in terms of AI, but also I love the speech he gave just then about when you're trying to create something or when you have a passion for something. I love that speech that he gave. Um,
performance money to charity, including funds for the burn center that helped me after the fire on the Pepsi set. We donated more than $4 million that year. For me, that was what the Victory Tour was all about, giving back. After my experiences with the Victory Tour, I started making my career decisions with more care than ever. I had learned a lesson on an earlier tour, which I remembered vividly during the difficulties with Victory. We did a tour years ago with this guy who
we we've seen a pic. Matter of fact, I don't think I've seen one picture with Michael and his kids to where his hair was in place. That's how you know them kids will had him climbing walls, bro. Like there's videos of him trying to read books to Prince in Paris. Which, by the way, Paris just did an interview with the caller daddy. I'm not. I don't. I'm not doing a reaction to that. If I find a clip that's appealing to me, I'll do a reaction to it. But Paris is a very intriguing individual. I'll say that. But yeah, like them kids, he had Prince. He said, "Hold on, hold time out. Wait a minute, this 13 might not be a good idea, bro. Like, hold on."
ripped us off, but he taught me something. He said, "Listen, all these people work for you. You don't work for them. You are paying them." He kept telling me that. Finally, I began to understand what he meant. It was an entirely new concept for me because at Motown, everything was done for us. Other people made our decisions. I've been mentally scarred by that experience. You've got to wear this. You've got to do these songs. You are going here. You are going to do this interview in that TV show. That's how it went. We couldn't say anything. When he told me I was in control, I finally woke up. I realized he was right. Despite everything, I owe that guy a debt of gratitude. Captain EO came about because the Disney studios wanted me to come up with a new ride for the parks. They said they didn't care what I did as long as it was something creative. I had this big meeting with them, and during the course of the afternoon, I told them that Walt Disney was a hero of mine and that I was very interested in Disney's history and philosophy. I wanted to do something with them that Mr. Disney himself would have approved. I had read a number of books about Walt Disney and his creative empire, and it was very important to me to do things as he would have. In the end, they asked me to do a movie, and I agreed. I told them I would like to work with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. It turned out Steven was busy, so George brought in Francis Ford Coppola, and that was the Captain EO team. I flew up to San Francisco a couple of times to visit George at his place, Skywalker Ranch, and gradually we came up with a scenario for a short film that would incorporate every recent advance in 3D technology. Captain EO would look and feel like the audience was in a spaceship along for the ride. Captain EO is about transformation and the way music can help to change the world. George came up with the name Captain EO. EO is Greek for dawn. The story is about a young guy who goes on a mission to this miserable planet run by an evil queen. He is entrusted with the responsibility of bringing the inhabitants light and beauty. It's a great celebration of good over evil. Working on Captain EO reinforced all the positive feelings I've had about working in film and made me realize more than ever that movies are where my future path probably lies. I love the movies and have since I was real little. For 2 hours, you can be transported to another place. Films can take you anywhere. That's what I like. I can sit down and say, okay, nothing else exists right now. Take me to a place that's wonderful and make me forget about my pressures and my worries and day to day schedule. I also love to be in front of a 35 millimeters camera. I used to hear my brothers say, I'll be glad when the shoot is over, and I couldn't understand why they weren't enjoying it. I would be watching, trying to learn, seeing what the director was trying to get, what the light man was doing. I wanted to know where the light was coming from and why the director was doing a scene so many times. I enjoyed hearing about the changes being made in the script. It's all part of what I consider my ongoing education in films. Pioneering new ideas is so exciting to me, and the movie industry seems to be suffering right now from a dearth of ideas. So many people are doing the same things. The big studios remind me of the way Motown was acting when we were having disagreements with them. They want easy answers. They want their people to do formula stuff. Sure bets, only the public gets bored, of course. So many of them are doing the same old corny stuff. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg are exceptions. I'm going to try to make some changes. I'm going to try to change things around someday. Marlon Brando has become a very close and trusted friend of mine. I can't tell you how much he's taught me. We sit and talk for hours. He has told me a great deal about the movies. He is such a wonderful actor, and he has worked with so many giants in the industry, from other actors to cameramen. He has a respect for the artistic value of filmmaking that leaves me in awe. He's like a father to me. So these days, movies are my number one dream, but I have a lot of other dreams too. In early 1985, we cut We Are the World at an all night.
I'm still, I'm still shocked that we didn't get more. Yo, you made it to the line. What up? I'm still shocked that Michael didn't do more movies, especially after, especially in the '90s. Like I believe he was supposed to be Edward Scissorhands, but he didn't do that. He was supposed to be Peter Pan, didn't do that. Willy Wonka didn't do that. I'm actually shocked that he didn't do any of those projects. But yes, Glory. But yeah, also going to back to the commercial, the Pepsi commercial. I tease my homie every time I see it. I send her that commercial because it makes her emotional. Because that commercial, I don't know if I can watch it. I don't know the copyright behind it. I might try to look it up. But that commercial with Michael at the piano and young Michael's in the background and they're singing "I'll Be There" is probably the greatest commercial of all time. I hate that it's for Pepsi, but it's still crazy to me. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Yo, that is so crazy because I was supposed to. Golly, I was supposed to. I was supposed to react to Bill's interview on Art of Dialogue. I just lost. I forgot all about it. But he has some very intriguing insight on a lot of different things. So I do gotta get to that. But I've got so many other things I'm doing. I completely lost track of that. Have you seen the AI video of the different eras of Michael interacting with each other in a dangerous era? MJ is the villain. I have not seen that. I don't know what you're talking about. I've seen the I've seen the videos of like Michael evolution, but I didn't see anything like that though. Um,
all all-star recording session that was held after the ceremony. For Steven Spielberg are exceptions.
oh,
I'm
let me ask you this: what's a movie you wish Michael would have did? If you had the choice, Michael could have did one movie. What's the movie you wish Michael could have did? I know what I wish. I wish he could have did Willy Wonka. As much as I know people might say another movie, I think Willy Wonka could have been hella fun because it's whimsical. It's mad. It's just like you don't know what's really happening. Like Willy Wonka is such a weird movie in hindsight, but I feel like Michael being Willy Wonka would have been crazy, way better than. Now that I think about it, Johnny Depp really took a lot some of Michael's roles, but Peter Pan. See, I love. See, I was going to say Peter Pan. I was going to say Peter Pan, but I love Robin Williams' Hook. I love him in Hook. So I don't want to take away Robin Williams' depiction of Peter Pan. At the same time, um, I would be intrigued to see how my because see the problem is it would have had to been Peter Pan. The reason why Hook worked is because Robin Williams was able to play an adult so well that when he becomes Peter Pan, it's a great. But Michael's already seen as a child, so it would have had to actually really been Spider Man. I forgot about Spider Man. Spider Man would have been dope. Um, I think it would have been really intriguing to see what he could have did with Edward Scissorhands. Um, yeah, I would have said anything magical or mysterious, pretty much. Interview with a. I never thought of interview with a vampire. I mean, isn't that low? I mean, is it Ghost kind of that though? I mean, it's kind of in that realm. I feel like Ghost is like the closest we got to to Michael in terms of a fleshed out character in acting. I love him in Ghost. Like, hello, Michael's just a dick in that freaking movie or a short film.
going to try to make some changes. I'm going to try to change things around someday. Marlon Brando has become a very close and trusted friend of mine. I can't tell you how much he's taught me. We sit and talk for hours. He has told me a great deal about the movies. He is such a wonderful actor, and he has worked with so many giants in the industry, from other actors to cameramen. He has a respect for the artistic value of filmmaking that leaves me in awe. He's like a father to me. So these days, movies are my number one dream, but I have a lot of other dreams too. In early 1985, we cut We Are the World at an all night all star recording session that was held after the ceremony for the American Music Awards. I wrote the song with Lionel Richie after seeing the appalling news footage of starving people in Ethiopia and the Sudan. Around that time, I used to ask my sister Janet to follow me into a room with interesting acoustics, like a closet or the bathroom, and I'd sing to her just a
Hold on. So the director of the Truman Show says that he was partly inspired by Michael Jackson. Noted that Jackson was a real life figure closest to Truman Burbank, and both lived under intense global scrutiny and were treated as objects of entertainment rather than vulnerable human beings. What? The Truman Show is low key about my what? Nah, that's like one of my favorite movies, bro. In case I don't see ya, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Like that's one of my favorite freaking movies, bro. It's like one of the greatest pieces of art because it's such a great symbolism for how the world is and society is, especially when it comes to celebrity. Oh my God, I did not know that. What? Holy! We might have to do a reaction. We might have to do a watch along the Truman Show now. I did not. I did not know that. That is crazy. That completely threw me off right now. Wow. You said I would love to see Michael in Scarface. What, playing Scarface? I want the whole world, Chico, and everything in it. You want him to play Scarface with a smooth criminal suit on? Nah, that's crazy. I did not know. I did not know. It's crazy because I love that freaking movie. I feel like that's the role that Jim Carrey was taken serious as an actor. Like I know he did great in like Ace Ventura and The Mask and I don't know, Me Myself Irene. I think that might have been around the same time. But like that movie, I think is when people started being like, "Oh, this guy really." I know he even did the Riddler, but it was that movie. I think people started really respecting him as an actor. I did not know that. That's crazy. I'm in support of it, but someone cool. I get tired of listening to me. I still love it. For the no. I get it, bro. I get it. That is crazy to me. Oh, appreciate you. What about Baby Boy? What about Baby Boy is a great name. That is a great name. I low key, every time I see What About Baby Boy, I think of the movie Baby Boy. And I think of John Singleton, RP John Singleton. Um, yeah, we learn something new every day. Yeah, I really appreciate you for bringing that fact to me because now it's gonna make me watch Truman Show now after this because that's crazy to me. The show where he outsmarts the host with his math skills was so funny. The show where he wait, what? The show where he outsmarts the host with his math skills was so funny. Yeah, the Truman Show is one of my all-time favorites, but knowing this fact became an absolute favorite. Exactly. I think I heard about that. Michael and Prince was supposed to make dual battle albums for '89 Batman film with Mike making music for Batman and Prince making music for the Joker. I think I heard that. That would have been dope as hell. I feel like Michael I feel like Michael and Prince are like Superman versus Batman, where Michael is Superman and, and Prince is Batman. It's like y'all on the same team. Like, can you do the detail MJ 2000s year in review? Yeah, I know I did 01. I believe 01 is the only one I've done, but I can definitely do them for sure. But I know for sure I did 2001, the detail in review. Oh, you got to watch. If you haven't seen the Truman Show, I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest movies of all time, bro. Like to this day, the fact that he figured out what was going on, and it's so sick because I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it, but it's just sick how the society set it up, how they made a whole world for this man. Again, it's such great symbolism for social media, again for celebrity, really systematically how a lot of these systems set up life for us, and just watch. And I really feel like if you've seen Squid Games, I really feel like Squid Games low key is real life. I feel like there's a lot of I don't know if I'm gonna give. I just feel like Squid Games is real life. I feel like there are people in the 1% that are kind of using us. You know, I don't want to say too much because then they're gonna sound like I'm a crazy dude off a porch or something. But yeah. Yo, what's up, Jordan? What's up? What's up? What's up? What up? What up? Let's see. Not Urson. What is? Yeah, but let's get back to Michael because I could talk about Truman Show all day, bro. I could talk about Truman Show. Yo, I can talk about Truman Show all day because when he's driving around in the cars are completely just go into place. He's like, yo, what's happening, dog? Like that's crazy, dog. All right.
Footage of starving people in Ethiopia and the Sudan. Around that time, I used to ask my sister Janet to follow me into a room with interesting acoustics, like a closet or the bathroom, and I'd sing to her just a note, a rhythm of a note. It wouldn't be a lyric or anything. Father,
Wait, what? What? Hold on. Give me the lore behind that. You said YouTube came out thanks to Janet Jackson. It all ties back to Janet Jackson. It all ties back to Jackson family. It's crazy. Wait, what? Like y'all on one today. Wait, what? What do you mean? Don't tell me someone created YouTube so they could pop up the Janet Jackson Super Bowl performance. That's it. I promise y'all we're gonna get back to the Moonwalk movie. I'm just curious. The YouTube created because of Janet Jackson. Yes, in part, YouTube was created. Say that idea for the platform. That is scary. That I said that is freaking scary. That is freaking scary. I said I bet you it's because of the Super Bowl performance. That's wild. So you tell me there was gooners. This dude created YouTube so he could be a gooner, bro. That's wild. That is wild. The fact that I knew, I was like, I know some probably sicko created YouTube so that he could show the halftime performance. That is wild. Yeah. That's the way of the world. Yeah, I actually have my voice today. So I'm way better than I was yesterday. I want to see MJ in some badass gangster movies like Scarface. All right, what about? Hold on, let's go. Let's go.
me. So these days, movies are my number one dream, but I have a lot of other dreams too. In early 1985, we cut We Are the World at an all night, all star recording session that was held after the ceremony for the American Music Awards. I wrote the song with Lionel Richie after seeing the appalling news footage of starving people in Ethiopia and the Sudan. Around that time, I used to ask my sister Janet to follow me into a room with interesting acoustics, like a closet or the bathroom, and I'd sing to her just a note, a rhythm of a note. It wouldn't be a lyric or anything. I just hum from the bottom of my throat. I'd say, Janet, what do you see? What do you see when you hear this sound? And this time she said, dying children in Africa. You're right.
Wait, no. Wait, what? Nah. Wait, what? What? Hold on. I need to make sure I heard that correct because I'm. Hold on, run that back for me. Hold on.
So these days, movies are my number one dream, but I have a lot of other dreams too. In early 1985, we cut We Are the World at an all night, all star recording session that was held after the ceremony for the American Music Awards. I wrote the song with Lionel Richie after seeing the appalling news footage of starving people in Ethiopia and the Sudan. Around that time, I used to ask my sister Janet to follow me into a room with interesting acoustics, like a closet or the bathroom, and I'd sing to her just a note, a rhythm of a note. It wouldn't be a lyric or anything. I'd just hum from the bottom of my throat. I'd say, Janet, what do you see? What do you see when you hear this sound? And this time she said, dying children in Africa. You're right. That's what I was dictating from my soul. And she said, you're talking about Africa. You're talking about dying children. That's
So when we talk about people not being human, this is what we mean. How does Janet hear a low vibe? And Janet's like, oh, I see dying children in Africa. How? That's not normal. Like they gotta be. Janet and Michael had to be locked in a different frequency, bro. They're not on our same frequency, bro. They're locked in spiritually on a different level. Like I did not know Janet and Michael was like that though. Like what? She said you're humming about dead children in Africa. That's what you're humming about. Michael's like, yeah, I guess that is what I'm like. Yeah, y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it, gangster. Like it's like, bro, I can't with y'all, Janet and Michael, bro. Y'all should have had your own TV show or something, cause that's crazy. Y'all locked in like that. Y'all locked in like that. Now it makes me wonder, like, man, now I really wish you could have got a Michael Janet album. If y'all locked in like that, now I'm wondering how your music together could have sounded. Cause what is that? What is that, bro? That's gonna mess me up all for the rest of the day. I'm telling y'all right now, that's gonna mess me up for the rest of the day now. What?
mine. I can't tell you how much he's taught me. We sit and talk for hours. He has told me a great deal about the movies. He is such a wonderful actor, and he has worked with so many giants in the industry, from
Type
other
shit.
actors to cameramen. He has a respect for the artistic value of filmmaking that leaves me in awe. He's like a father to me. So these days, movies are my number one dream, but I have a lot of other dreams too. In early 1985, we cut We Are the World at an all night, all star recording session that was held after the ceremony for the American Music Awards. I wrote the song with Lionel Richie after seeing the appalling news footage of starving people in Ethiopia and the Sudan. Around that time, I used to ask my sister Janet to follow me into a room with interesting acoustics, like a closet or the bathroom, and I'd sing to her just a note, a rhythm of a note. It wouldn't be a lyric or anything. I'd just hum from the bottom of my throat. I'd say, Janet, what do you see? What do you see when you hear this sound? And this time she said, dying children in Africa. You're right. That's what I was dictating from my soul. And she said, you're talking about Africa. You're talking about dying children.
See, this is why I'm pissed off because I know we're not going to get nothing like that in Michael the sequel, bro. I want that in the movie. I want a scene with Jafar humming, and Janet's like, I see. You gotta turn up the volume. I see. No, let me chill. No, I see dying children in Africa. And Jafar's like, yeah, that is. Like, I want that. I want it. I want it. Janet, please give the rights to your likeness, please, 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 please. Janet, I just need that one scene. I don't need you to be in the rest of the movie. I just need you to okay your likeness so we can get that scene, bro. Come on now. Do it for the people. No, we no, we have to. No, we don't. We do not have Drake. Some people might have. We do not have Drake. I don't know. I don't even know who that is. I don't know what you're talking about. I know Jimmy from the wheelchair, but I don't know who Drake is. I don't know who that is.
That's where We Are the World came from. We'd go in a dark room and I'd sing notes to her. To my mind, that's what singers should be able to do. We should be able to perform and be effective, even if it's in a dark room. We've lost a lot because of TV. You should be able to move.
Imagine you have the greatest artist of all time, and y'all gotta live with freaking no lie, no lie, no lie, yeah, yeah. Like you gotta live with you got. That's the music y'all had to grow up in. That's crazy.
Move people without all that advanced
Now listen to that
technology.
one more
Music
time, bro.
awards. I wrote the song with Lionel Richie after seeing the appalling news footage of starving people in Ethiopia and the Sudan. Around that time, I used to ask my sister Janet to follow me into a room with interesting acoustics, like a closet or the bathroom, and I'd sing to her just a note, a rhythm of a note. It wouldn't be a lyric or anything. I'd just hum from the bottom of my throat. I'd say, Janet, what do you see? What do you see when you hear this sound? And this time she said, dying children in Africa. You're right. That's what I was dictating from my soul. And she said, you're talking about Africa. You're talking about dying children. That's where We Are the World came from. We'd go in a dark room and I'd sing notes to her. To my mind, that's what singers should be able to do. We should be able to perform and be effective, even if it's in a dark room. We've lost a lot because of TV. You should be able to move people without all that advanced technology, without pictures using only sound. I've been performing for as long as I can remember. I know a lot of secrets, a lot of things like that. I think that We Are the World is a very spiritual song, but
It
spiritual
is.
in a special sense. I was proud to be a part of that song and to be one of the musicians there that night. We were united by our desire to make a difference. It made the world a better place for us, and it made a difference to the starving people we wanted to help. We collected some Grammy Awards and began to hear easy listening versions of We Are the World in elevators along with Billie Jean. Since first writing it, and I had thought that song should be sung.
Listen. I wasn't going to say nothing. You don't get back to. I wasn't going to say nothing. Listen, that's where I'm like, bro. Ah, damn! I didn't upload it on YouTube, did I? Man, YouTube. Yeah, man. YouTube is such a headache, bro. I got so many reactions that I can't upload on here. I gotta edit. Like it takes forever. And if you haven't, go check out my reaction to being the Bobby Brown BET movie. It's like 3 parts, I think, or 2 parts. The way they betrayed Janet, bro, they played the hell. They played the hell out of Janet. They made Janet was out here moving and grooving. You feel me? I don't judge. We listen. We don't judge. Janet was out here moving and grooving. You feel me? I don't know how she was able to okay that because it's still using her likeness. She okayed that, but didn't okay her likeness in the Michael movie. I don't know how that's possible. unless she did it okay and they just did some slimy, which companies do. But that's kind of wild to me. Yes, and the saddest, switch it up real quick. Let's switch it up. It is sad that still today, 40 years, 40 years later, people in Sudan and Ethiopia continue to go hungry and die from the effects of malnutrition. Oh, no, I said that word. My bad. Malnutrition, droughts in arm. Like that's 40 years later. That's still crazy to me. But yeah, just wait, wait, what? That will be all the world as elevated music.
by children. When I finally heard children singing it on producer George Duke's version, I almost cried. It's the best version I've heard. After We Are the World, I again decided to retreat from public view. For 2.5 years, I devoted most of my time to recording the follow up to Thriller, the album that came to be titled Bad. Why did it take so long to make Bad? The answer is that Quincy and I decided that this album should be as close to perfect as humanly possible. A perfectionist has to take his time. He shapes and he molds and he sculpts that thing until it's perfect. He can't let it go before he's satisfied. He can't. If it's not right, you throw it away and do it over. You work that thing till it's just right. When it's as perfect as you can make it, you put it out there. Really, you've got to get it to where it's just right. That's the secret. That's the difference between a number 30 record and a number one record that stays number one for weeks. It's got to be good. If it is, it stays up there and the whole world wonders when it's going to come down. I have a hard time explaining how Quincy Jones and I work together on making an album. What I do is I write the songs and do the music, and then Quincy brings out the best in me. That's the only way I can explain it. Quincy will listen and make changes. He'll say, Michael, you should put a change in there. And I'll write a change. And he'll guide me on and help me create and help me invent and work on new sounds, new kinds of music. And we fight.
Okay, I will say this. 'Cause I know we kind of I won't say we. I kind of dissed Quincy last stream yesterday. I will say you got to remember, don't stop till you get enough. I think it was it the strings? I think it was one of those things to where Michael didn't want it because it was too um like it was not too funky, but Michael didn't want certain sound and don't stop till you get enough. And Quincy was headstrong on no, you need to keep that sound. You need to keep that. And Michael's like, okay. And it turned out to be the right call. So Quincy is again, I feel like he was important, but at the same time, Michael really did a lot of the work, bro. That's all I'm saying.
During the bad sessions, we disagreed on some things. If we struggle at all, it's about new stuff and the latest technology. I'll say, Quincy, music changes all the time. I want the latest drum sounds that people are doing. I want to go beyond the latest thing. And then we go ahead and make the best record that we can. We don't ever try to pander to the fans. We just try to play on the quality of the song. People will not buy junk, they'll only buy what they like. If you take all the trouble to get in your car, go to the record store and put your money on the counter, you got to really like what you're going to buy. You don't say, I'll put a country song on here for the country market, a rock song for that market, and so on. I feel close to all different styles of music. I love some rock songs and some country songs and some pop and all the old rock and roll records. We did go after a rock type of song with Beat It. We got Eddie Van Halen to play guitar because we knew he'd do the best job. Albums should be for all races, all tastes in music. And in the end, many songs kind of create themselves. You just say, this is it. This is how it's going to be. Of course, not every song is going to have a great dance tempo. It's like Rock With You isn't a great dance tempo. It was meant for the old dance, the rock, but it's not a don't stop or working day and night rhythm or a starting something type of thing, something you can play with on the dance floor and get sweaty working out to. We worked on Bad for a long time, years.
Oh, Michael, I disagree. I've been to many places where people were dancing to Rock With You. Disagree. Rock with You is definitely a dance record. it's just not as it's just not as fast, but Rock with You is definitely a dance record.
In the end, many songs kind of create themselves. You just say, this is it, this is how it's going to be. Of course, not every song is going to have a great dance tempo. It's like Rock With You isn't a
I'm
great
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Calling Quincy Horace Grant of the first the Bulls is crazy. Why did you just call him Quincy? You could have just called him Phil Jackson. Like you call Quincy. I'm sorry. Quincy is not Horace Grant. For sports fans, you're not going to get the reference. He's Quincy is not Horace Grant. He's definitely Phil Jackson. But I get where you're trying to go there. Um, that's kind of wild. But then again, I get your analogy because Horace Grant was replaced by Dennis Rodman, just like Quincy was replaced by like Teddy Riley, whatever. But that's still kind of. I'm sorry, non-sports fans, you don't understand how crazy that analogy is.
We got Eddie Van Halen to play guitar because we knew he'd do the best job. Albums should be for all races, all tastes in music. And in the end, many songs kind of create themselves. You just say, this is it, this is how it's going to be. Of course, not every song is going to have a great dance tempo. It's like Rock With You isn't a great dance tempo. It was meant for the old dance, the rock, but it's not a don't stop or working day and night rhythm or a starting something type of thing, something you can play with on the dance floor and get sweaty working out to. We worked on Bad for a long time, years. In the end, it was worth it because we were satisfied with what we had achieved, but it was difficult too. And there was a lot of tension because we felt we were competing with ourselves. It's very hard to create something when you feel like you're in competition with yourself because no matter how you look at it, people are always going to compare Bad to Thriller. You can always say, oh, forget Thriller, but no one ever will. I think I have a slight advantage in all of this because
Slight
I
flex.
always do my best work under pressure. Bad is a song
Wait,
about the street.
say that again, Mike. That was a slight flex.
To compare Bad to Thriller. You can always say, oh, forget Thriller, but no one ever will. I think I have a slight advantage in all of this because I always do my best work under pressure. Bad is a song about the street. It's about this kid from a bad neighborhood who gets to go away to a private school and he comes back to the old neighborhood when he's on a break from school and the kids from the neighborhood start giving him trouble. He sings, I'm bad, you're bad, who's the best? He's saying when you're strong and good, then you're bad. Man in the Mirror is a great message. I love that song. If John Lennon was alive, he could really relate to that song because it says that if you want to make the world a better place, you have to work on yourself and change first. It's the same thing Kennedy was talking about when he said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Start with the man in the mirror. Start with yourself. Don't be looking at all the other things. Start with you. That's the truth. That's what Martin Luther King meant and Gandhi too. And that's what I believe. Several people have asked me if I had anybody in mind when I wrote Can't Stop Loving You. And I say that I didn't.
I was slow down on Gandhi. if you believe it, I was slow down on Gandhi. But yeah, he's right. He's right though. He's right.
Really. I was thinking of somebody while I was singing it, but not while I was writing it. I wrote all the songs on Bad except for two, Man in the Mirror, which Sieta Garrett wrote with George Ballard, and Just Good Friends, which is by these two writers who wrote What's Love Got to Do with It for Tina Turner. We needed a duet for me and Stevie Wonder to sing, and they had this song. I don't even think they intended for it to be a duet. They wrote it for me, but I knew it would be perfect for me and Stevie to sing together. Another Part of Me was one of the earliest songs written for Bad.
Another song I don't understand the hate for is Just Good Friends. I know a lot of people that don't care for that song. Don't understand why. But to each his own, I guess. But I love Just Good Friends, but there are a lot of people I know that do not care for that song.
And they had this song. I don't even think they intended for it to be a duet. They wrote it for me, but I knew it would be perfect for me and Stevie to sing together. Another Part of Me was one of the earliest songs written for Bad and made its public debut at the end of Captain EO when the captain says goodbye. Speed Demon is a Machine song. The Way You Make Me Feel and Smooth Criminal are simply the grooves I was in at the time. That's how I would put it. Leave Me Alone is a track that appears only on the compact disc of Bad. I worked hard on the song, stacking vocals on top of each other like layers of clouds. I'm sending a simple message here: leave me alone. The song is about a relationship between a guy and a girl. But what I'm really saying to people who are bothering me is leave me alone. The pressure of success does funny things to people, and a lot
It's like, okay. Um, I know a lot of people that like bad over Thriller. I get it. Like I'm so I know me disrespectful of schizophrenic. I'm so I don't know if bipolar is the word, but I'm so like some days I think Thriller is the best album. Some days I think Dangerous is the best album. Some days I think Bad is the best album. Some days I think History is the best album. I'm very undecisive in regards to what's Michael's best album. Um, Controversially, I never picked Off the Wall or Invincible. I feel like Off the Wall and both Invincible have areas to where they could have been better, but for me, Thriller to History, I damn near think is damn near perfect outside of Little Susie. I hate Little Susie. I love the idea of it, but I hate the execution of it. But yeah, Gandhi. Just look it up. There's some things about how he interacted with certain minors that were very questionable. So I would definitely look that up.
of people become successful very quickly, and it's an instant occurrence in their lives. Some of these people whose success might be a one shot thing don't know how to handle what happens to them. I look at fame from a different perspective since I've been in this business for so long now. I've learned that the way to survive as your own person is to shun personal publicity and keep a low profile as
Never.
much as possible. I guess it's good in some ways and bad in others. The hardest part is having no privacy. And I remember when we were filming Thriller, Jackie Onassis and Shay Earhart came to California to discuss this book. There were photographers in the trees everywhere. It was not possible for us to do anything without it being noticed and reported. The price of fame can be a heavy one, and is the price you pay worth it? Consider that you really have no privacy. You can't really do anything unless special
Need my
arrangements are made. The
privacy.
media prints whatever you say. They
Yeah,
report whatever you do.
yeah.
They know what you
I'm
buy,
a
which movies you see, you name it.
righty.
If I go to a public library,
Yeah,
they print the titles of the
yeah.
books I check out. In
You wait
Florida
for
once, they printed my
me.
whole schedule in the paper. Everything I did from 10 in the morning until 6 at night. After he did this, he did that. And after he did that, he went there. Then he went door to door. And then I remember thinking to myself, what if I were trying to do something that I didn't happen to want reported in the paper? All of this is the price of fame. I think my image gets distorted in the public's mind. They don't get a clear or full picture of what I'm like, despite the press coverage I mentioned early. Mistruths are printed as fact in some cases, and frequently only half of a story will be told. The part that doesn't get printed is often the part that would make the printed part less sensational by shedding light on the facts. As a result, I think some people don't think I'm a person who determines what's happening with his career. Nothing could be further from the truth. I've been accused of being obsessed with my privacy, and it's true that I am. People stare at you when you're famous. They're observing you, and that's understandable, but it's not always easy. If you were to ask me why I wear sunglasses in public as often as I do, I'd tell you it's because I simply don't like to have to constantly look everyone in the eye. It's a way of concealing just a bit of myself. After I had my wisdom teeth pulled, the dentist gave me a surgical mask to wear home to keep out germs. I loved that mask. It was great, much better than sunglasses, and I had fun wearing it around for a while. There's so little privacy in my life that concealing a little bit of me is a way to give myself a break from all that. It may be considered strange, I know, but I like my privacy. I can't answer whether or not I like being famous, but I do love achieving goals. I
How Michael feels about shades is how I feel about hoodies. That's why it's so funny. People always ask me, why you always wearing hoodies? Because I feel like it helps me kind of shield me from having to, you know, interact sometimes. Like if they see you, first of all, you see a big black man with a hoodie on, you might not be so jovial to talk to him. So that's kind of that's kind of the reason why I wear it a lot of times. And plus, it's very comfortable. But yeah, I definitely get that shade talk. Um, but we're almost at the end of this. There's only like 10 minutes left. Um, I think the part where he talked about Frank is probably the last part he's going to talk about. So Yeah, I used to have a good. Well, I used to have a solid cardigan game. My cardigan game is dead, but I used to have a good cardigan game. Now it's strictly hoodie game. Um, let's see. Unpopular opinion: Speed Demon have more replay value than Just Good Friends. Just Good Friends is a great song, but it feels outdated compared to the other tracks on Bad. I have grown to like Speed Demon a lot more. I completely disagree with you in regards to it being better than good Just Good Friends. Um, I would give a PC answer to be like, I know where you're coming from. I don't know where you're coming from, my guy. I don't agree with that at all. Um, so we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one. Will you react to Chris Leepe's Earth song? I I feel like I already did that. Is it a new one he did? I feel like I already did that, didn't I? Again, pardon me. I do so many reactions. I can't keep up with all the reactions I've done. I feel like I already did a reaction to that. I really, yeah. If it's from, yeah, I already did. Oh, you can't see that. Yeah, I already did a reaction to that like a year ago. Unless there's a new one. So Christie became the greatest producer of the '80s because of what Thriller did. I think because of Mike's manifestation of wanting to make the greatest selling album of all time. He was going to do. I mean, I'm not going to disrespect Quincy. I'm not going. I'm not going to disrespect Quincy. But what we'll say is, we see what happened before Michael, what happened after Michael. But I will say is, he does have the album. I think it's called The Dude. Great album. Great album. Great album. So I will say that the Dude album, even though a lot of it is just other artists singing on it, is low key like I would never compare Quincy Jones to DJ Khaled, but it's on some like DJ Khaled type of have a lot of great artists on the album. But yeah, the Dude album is very good. Yeah, Quincy he never reached the heights that he did with Michael. I will say that.
I love not only reaching a mark I've set for myself, but exceeding it. Doing more than I thought I could. That's a great feeling. There's nothing like it. I think it's so
That's
important to
tough.
set goals for yourself. It gives you an idea of where you want to go and how you want to get there. If you don't aim for something, you'll never know whether you could have hit the mark. I've always joked that I didn't ask to sing and dance, but it's true. When I open my mouth, music comes out. I'm honored that I have this ability. I thank God for it every day. I try to cultivate what He gave me. I feel I'm compelled to do what I do. There are so many things all around us to be thankful for. Wasn't it Robert Frost who wrote about the world a person can see in a leaf? I think that's true. That's what I love about being with kids. They notice everything. They aren't jaded. They get excited by things we've forgotten to get excited about anymore. They are so natural too, so unself conscious. I love being around them. There always seems to be a bunch of kids over at the house, and they're always welcome. They energize me just being around them. They look at everything with such fresh eyes, such open minds. That's part of what makes kids so creative. They don't worry about the rules. The picture doesn't have to be in the center of the piece of paper. The sky doesn't have to be blue. They are accepting of people too. The only demand they make is to be treated fairly and to be loved. I think that's what we all want. And I would like to think that I'm an inspiration for the children I meet. I want kids to like my music. Their approval means more to me than anyone else's. It's always the kids who know which song is going to be a hit. You see kids who can't even talk yet, but they got a little rhythm going. It's funny,
I'm
but they're a
good.
tough
I'm good.
audience. In fact, they're the toughest audience. There have been so many parents who have come to me and told me that their baby knows Beat It or loves Thriller. George Lucas told me his daughter's first words were Michael Jackson. I felt on top of the world when he told me that. I spend a lot of free time in California, and when I'm traveling visiting children's hospitals, it makes me so happy to be able to brighten those kids' day by just showing up and talking with them, listening to what they have to say, and making them feel better. It's so sad for children to have to get sick. More than anyone else, kids don't deserve that. They often can't even understand what's wrong with them. It makes my heart twist. When I'm with them, I just want to hug them and make it all better for them. Sometimes sick children will visit me at home or in my hotel rooms on the road. A parent will get in touch with me and ask if their child can visit with me for a few minutes. Sometimes when I'm with them, I feel like I understand better what my mother must have gone through with her polio. Life is too precious and too short not to reach out and touch the people we can. You know, when I was going through that bad period with my skin and my adolescent growth spurts, it was kids who never let me down. They were the only ones who accepted the fact that I was no longer little Michael and that I was really the same person inside, even if you didn't recognize me. I've never forgotten that. Kids are great. If I were living for no other reason than to help and please kids, that would be enough for me. They're amazing people. Amazing. I am a person who is very much in control of his life. I have a team of exceptional people working for me, and they do an excellent job of presenting me with the facts that keep me up to date on everything that's going on at MJJ Productions so that I can know the options and make the decisions. As far as my creativity is concerned, that's my domain, and I enjoy that aspect of my life as much or more than any other. I think I have a goody goody image in the press, and I hate that. But it's hard to fight because I don't normally talk about myself. I am a shy person. It's true. I don't like giving interviews or appearing on talk shows. When Doubleday approached me about doing this book, I was interested in being able to talk about how I feel in a book that would be mine, my words and my voice. I hope it will help clear up some misconceptions. Everybody has many facets to them, and I'm no different. When I'm in public, I often feel shy and reserved. Obviously, I feel differently away from the glare of cameras and staring people. My friends, my close associates know there's another Michael that I find it difficult to present in the outlandish public situations I often find myself in. It's different when I'm on stage, however. When I perform, I lose myself. I'm in total control of that stage. I don't think about anything. I know what I want to do from the moment I step out there, and I love every minute of it. I'm actually relaxed on stage, totally relaxed. It's nice. And I feel relaxed in the studio too. I know whether something feels right. If it doesn't, I know how to fix it. Everything has to be in place. And if it is, you feel good, you feel fulfilled. People used to underestimate my ability as a songwriter. They didn't think of me as a songwriter. So when I started coming up with songs, they'd look at me like, who really wrote that? I don't know what they must have thought that I had someone back in the
All right, hold on. All right, all right. So let's do this. 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 Let's stop this real quick. Let me see something real quick because I'm very curious now. Am I in the minority when it comes when it comes to when it comes to just good friends? I gotta know now because now it's now now I gotta know. So just good friends is good. Let's see, good, mid, or bad. Just I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm curious. I gotta know. Don't understand it. Hey, don't understand it. Who gave you the right to be my family? And who gave you? Yo, when Michael was in that fast suit, he was doing the. Who gave you the right to the ghost of jealousy? I remember as a kid thinking someone else was doing Michael Jackson in that fat suit, whatever. I'm like, who is this big, respectfully, who is this big fat white dude doing the moonwalk? Like, who is this dude? It threw me off. I'm just curious. Don't understand it. All right, let's get back to it. I'm gonna go back to the poll at the end. Don't understand it. Hey,
my words and my voice. I hope it will help clear up some misconceptions. Everybody has many facets to them, and I'm no different. When I'm in public, I often feel shy and reserved. Obviously, I feel differently away from the glare of cameras and staring people. My friends, my close associates know there's another Michael that I find it difficult to present in the outlandish public situations I often find myself in. It's different when I'm on stage, however. When I perform, I lose myself. I'm in total control of that stage. I don't think about anything. I know what I want to do from the moment I step out there, and I love every minute of it. I'm actually relaxed on stage, totally relaxed. It's nice. And I feel relaxed in the studio too. I know whether something feels right. If it doesn't, I know how to fix it. Everything has to be in place. And if it is, you feel good, you feel fulfilled. People used to underestimate my ability as a songwriter. They didn't think of me as a songwriter. So when I started coming up with songs, they'd look at me like, who really wrote that? I don't know what they must have thought, that I had someone back in the garage who was writing them for me. But time cleared up those misconceptions. You always
Like Michael is a Motown baby. Of course he knows how to write. Like who's out here being like, who wrote that for Michael? Like I was under Smokey Robinson, Barry Gordy, Stevie Wonder. Like, come on now. People just be dumb. They be stuck on stupid.
have to prove yourself to people, and so many of them don't want to believe. I've heard tales of Walt Disney going from studio to studio when he first started out, trying to sell his work unsuccessfully and being turned down. When he was finally given a chance, everyone thought he was the greatest thing that ever happened. Sometimes when you're treated unfairly, it makes you stronger and more determined. Slavery was a terrible thing, but when Black people in America finally got out from under that crushing system, they were stronger. They knew what it was to have your spirit crippled by people who are controlling your life. They were never going to let that happen again. I admire that kind of strength. The people who have it take a stand and put their blood and soul into what they believe. People often ask me what I'm like. I hope this book will answer some of those questions, but these things might help too. My favorite music is an eclectic mix. For example, I love classical music. I'm crazy about Debussy, Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun and Clair de Lune, and Prokofiev. I could listen to Peter and the Wolf over and over and over again. Copland is one of my all time favorite composers. You can recognize his distinctive brass sounds right away. Billy the Kid is fabulous. I listen to a lot of Tchaikovsky. The Nutcracker Suite is a favorite. I have a large collection of show tunes also. Irving Berlin, Johnny Mercer, Lerner and Lowe, Harold Arlen, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and the great Holland Dozier Holland. I really admire those guys. I like Mexican food very much. I'm a vegetarian, so fortunately, fresh fruits and vegetables are a favorite of mine. I love toys and gadgets. I like to see the latest things manufacturers have come out with. If there's something really wonderful, I'll buy one. I'm crazy about monkeys, especially chimps. My chimp Bubbles is a constant delight. I really enjoy taking him with me on trips or excursions. He's a wonderful distraction and a great pet. I love Elizabeth Taylor. I'm inspired by her bravery. She has been through so much and she is a survivor. That lady has been through a lot and she's walked out of it on 2 feet. I identify with her very strongly because of our experiences as child stars. When we first started talking on the phone, she told me she felt as if she had known me for years. I felt the same way. Katharine Hepburn is a dear friend, too. I was afraid to meet her at first, and we talked for a while when I first arrived for a stay on the set of On Golden Pond, where I was Jane Fonda's guest. She invited me to have dinner with her the next night. I felt very fortunate. Since then, we have visited one another and remained close. Remember, it was Katharine Hepburn who got me to remove my sunglasses at the Grammy Awards. She's a big influence on me. She's another strong person and a private person. I believe performers should try to be strong as an example to their audiences. It's staggering what a person can do if they only try. If you're under pressure, play off that pressure and use it to advantage to make whatever you're doing better. Performers owe it to people to be strong and fair. Often in the past, performers have been tragic figures. A lot of the truly great people have suffered or died because of pressure and drugs, especially liquor. It's so sad. You feel cheated as a fan that you didn't get to watch them evolve as they grew older. One can't help wondering what performances Marilyn
I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it
Monroe would have put in, or what Jimi Hendrix might have done in the 1980s. A lot of celebrities say they don't want their children to go into show business. I can understand their feelings, but I don't agree with them. If I had a son or daughter, I'd say, by all means, be my guest. Step right in there. If you want to do it, do it. To me, nothing is more important than making people happy. giving them a release from their problems and worries, helping to lighten their load. And I want them to walk away from a performance I've done saying, that was great. I want to go back again. I had a great time. To me, that's what it's all about. That's wonderful. That's why I don't understand when some celebrities say they don't want their kids in the business. I think they say that because they've been hurt themselves. I can understand that. I've been there too. Michael Jackson, Encino, California, 1988. What one wishes is to be touched by truth and to be able to interpret that truth so that one may use what one is feeling and experiencing, be it despair or joy, in a way that will add meaning to one's life and will hopefully touch others as well. This is art in its highest form. Those moments of enlightenment are what I continue to live for. Michael Jackson.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Moonwalk by Sir Michael Joseph Jackson. Done right before I guess Bad but probably just was released. But yeah, those are the words from Michael himself. Very enlightening, very inspirational, very telling. And I'm gonna have that story of him asking Janet, what does she hear after him humming? Her being like, I hear or I see dead children in Africa. That's gonna stick with me for a long time. I can't get over that.
Was over. There ain't no use talking it over. Yeah. Or can you try to tell me sooner? Or can you tell me it was over?